outseed 3 times Cork 20 winner Austin Mchale in a Opel Manta 400.
Yeah, that's all very good. Well, it's an early start this morning, though. I had to get up a bit early. But it's a nice morning, there's no rain anyway. And the car's going very well with no problems, and I think everything should be alright.
I think that'll be a big turning point in the rally, the weather. But all the local guys say it won't rain, so I hope they're right.
Day 1, special stage 1. First off the ramp is the Opel Manta of Austin Mchale and Ronan McNamee, followed closely by Mark Lovell and Terry Harriman in the Ford Sierra, both cars ready to do battle in this year's Cork 20. Dry, hard stages make for fast times, and by the end of special stage 1, both Mchale and Lovell are neck and neck. The big Sierra powering on to overtake the much lighter Manta. The Donegal man Vincent Bonner is no slouch either. His Manta is third, nor indeed is the Manta of Clontarfman Vincent Meade in fourth. Dubliner Michael Barrable is in the ex-Mchale Black Manta, and Frank O'Mahony is seated 7th in a Vauxhall Chevette. Belfast's Dan Daly has a finely tuned Nissan 240, and John Lyons' Lancia never missed a beat. Nor, for that matter, did Bob Fowden's great Black Sierra. Lyons and Fowden are both contenders for Group N. Troubles are always round the corner for the rallyman, but they do know how to handle it.
Second gear went in the gearbox just as we came up to the corner here. Whole lot has gone up, so we can't continue. We haven't got a spare box up. We'll have to adjourn to the pub at this point.
First service of the day was at noon by the scenic Lochaderra. Men and machines tested after 4 hard stages. How good is the car at this stage? Are you happy with it?
No problem with the slight vibration, the top shaft.
There might be major decisions with the tyres before the evening is out, looking at the forecast.
The weather dry looks too good there. I'd like to see either stay wet or stay dry, you know, if it changes, if it rains, or I wouldn't like to get in a shower here and a shower there and a panic change the tyres around. But it'll be the same for everybody. If it rains, it'll be the same for everybody.
Should have stayed in the hotel, it's too bloody quick.
Is that right?
It's very, very quick. I mean, Austin's gone out. On the second stage, he took 7 seconds out of us, and I couldn't believe it at the end. But we managed to take back 8 seconds on him on the last 2 stages, so I think we got a 1 second lead.
But the conditions are excellent for the Cosworth. You must be looking forward to the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that black stuff over there. Looks like it might rain.
What about the stages themselves? Are they the sort that you expected? Are they the way you expected them?
These are very good stages down here. The stages tomorrow and Sunday are a bit mucky and not so nice.
So you'll be looking for extra seconds, I suppose, today, so that tomorrow will be good.
Oh, we'd like a really big lead tonight, you know, something like 5 seconds would be handy.
Well, from the very word go, you know, I don't know whether it's in myself or what it is, but the car seems to be a lot nicer and a lot smoother than we used it in Donegal, and seem to be getting a lot of confidence in it here now. The stages again then, when we wrecked the roads, you know, they were very, very mucky and that, and going over them now they're drying out a terrible lot, and that might be helping the thing as well, you know. But we're only, you know, 5 and 6 seconds off the 2 boys in front, so And, you know, driving very, very careful, you know, and making no mistakes or hoping to make none anyway.
It's a very fast rally so far. What do you think of it?
I think the rally is very fast. I'm going as hard as I dare, and I'm still a reasonable amount off the pace of the third man, Vincent Bonner. But the car is new to me, so I hope that as the day progresses that I'll get a bit closer to the front runners.
Well, we've tested a new tyre already this morning on the first 4 stages. We've got a new tyre again to try now on the next 4, and that should improve our times considerably. It's a different width and a different profile and a slightly different compound, and we feel it will improve us a lot and put us up the leaderboard more overall, I hope.
By stage 5, Mchale had just a second down, having lost the previous 2 stages and an early lead. Lovell pulled out all the stops, the dry, hard conditions suiting the Sierra admirably. Bonner is not that happy with his tyres, but he doesn't seem to be showing it in his driving. Meade is finding his new Manta a handful after his more usual escorts. Barrable, in his black Manta, is going very well indeed. As indeed is Franco Mani's Chevette after an earlier spin. Fowden, climbing the leaderboard in his great Sierra, takes a bit of the countryside with him. Back in service at 3 o'clock, and I asked Franco Mani what was his problem.
Well, we had a good run in the beginning, and then our clutch started slipping on the last 3 stages. So we were trying to make it back in here to allow us to change the clutch. So they're actually at it at the moment, and they're sort of 3/4 ways through it, so we're hoping that we'll be out on time into the next control.
Now, there's about 30 seconds, I think, between yourself and Austin at this stage. And the rain, you think, might make a difference in that. It'll be down to driver skill. It'll also be tyres, of course. Will there be major choice in tyres?
Yeah, well, we're not on the slick tyres now. We've chosen an intermediate tyre which has got grooves in it. So if there are any puddles of water or anything, hopefully it'll cut a line through it.
Will you take care over the next stages, or will you just go for it?
We're going to go for it with care.
Service over then, and back to hard racing. The rain that started at service seemed to be localised and intermittent, and some stages were still bone dry. Perhaps Austin Mchale's choice of slicks was the right one. He seemed to be pulling down the lead. But the power of the Sierra is enormous, even with intermediate wet and dry tyres. Bonner is satisfied to stay where he is. And Reid, well, he's worried about stage 12, Ballinvarry, after an earlier spin. At Ballinvarrig, the last stage of the day, the heavens opened and down came the rain. Mchale on slicks did extremely well to only lose 15 seconds on a very slippery stage. Lovell drove superbly with all the professional craft at his disposal. Everyone tightened their driving for the last great effort, but the stage was not without its mishaps. Frank O'Mahony and Brian Curtin's Chevette was gone with a blown engine, and Dan Daly's Nissan no longer rose in anger. John Lyons was very lucky to replace a ball joint before the stage began. At the end of day one, Austin Mchale is an uncomfortable 1 minute and 25 seconds down on Mark Lovell. The Sierra just powers on and on. Their nearest rival is Donegal man Vincent Boller, 3 minutes and 27 seconds adrift of Mchale. Vincent Meade is more than 3 minutes behind Bonner, and he's pressed hard by Michael Barrable in 5th position. Bob Fowden, the Welshman, is leading Group N and in 6th position. The Shaw cousins, with the Sierra from Maharafelt, are in 7th position. And John Lyons is very lucky, despite the ball joint, to be in 9th position, with Martin Grandin just managing to make 10th position for his Lancia. It's been a tough day rallying, but you're still in the lead at about 1 minute and 25 seconds. Do you think it's enough to keep it?
I don't know, but it's about 1 minute and 20 more than I thought we'd be in the lead tonight. So I'm very pleased, really. You know, we've driven as hard as we could today. It's been bloody hard, it really has. So just pleased that we got a bit of a barrier, because tomorrow the weather forecast is terrible.
Day 2 and the weather changed dramatically. Clouds have descended, giving to persistent heavy drizzle, making the going very difficult indeed. As Mark Lovell and Terry Harriman, overnight leaders in their Ford Sierra Cosworth, made their way up the Nagle Mountains in North Cork on stage 13. Austin Mchale and Ronan McNamee know that the slight advantage of their lighter Opel Manta would have to be used to the full if they wanted to pull back that 1 minute and 25 second lead. Vincent Bonner, on the other hand, in his Donegal Oils Manta, was not taking any chances. Nor indeed was Vincent Meade. He's got a brand new Manta. Michael Barrable is finding the going very hard in the muck and dirt, and Bob Fowden, who actually claims to prefer today's stages, is proving it by overtaking him. The Maharafelt boys, with their Sierra Cosworth, are going very well indeed. They're lying 2nd overall in Group N. John Gillese's Chevette is not afraid of the mud. And John Lyons shows just how easy it is for the four-wheel drive car. He must surely be loving the conditions in his Lancia. Midway through stage 14 in the morning, suddenly the Leo Shaw Group N Sierra died mysteriously on the course. Willing hands of both marshals and spectators helped to alleviate a potentially dangerous situation by getting the hapless machine off the road and well out of the way, just before fellow Northerner John Gillese comes thundering down the road in his Chevette. Frank O'Mahony and Brian Curtin out of the rally yesterday, marshalling stage 14 today. That's clubman spirit. The bales of hay at the village of Grenada don't really slow the heavy machinery of Mark Lovell. And Austin Mchale, he has no respect for footpaths when there's a race to be won. Vincent Bonner, on the other hand, he takes things a little tidier through the chicane. And Vincent Meade, of course, in his own country, can't afford to make any mistakes. Bob Fowden is happy to get through safely with a tail-happy Sierra to tame. And Frank O'Mahony must be looking longingly at the Chevette of John Gilleese. Is careful with the powerful Manta. And John Gilleese is having a very steady drive indeed today. John Lyons' Lancia is proving to be very reliable indeed. And number 39 is Henry Lynch, a Northerner with an escort. 31 is Seamus Carey with a neat Vauxhall Nova. And Martin Grandin is the second of the Lancias. John McGinn, Cork Fire Services' ex-Keating Manta. And Maurice Muffet in his Toyota Corolla, spectacular as always. Donald Bailey from the Isle of Man is another Corolla. And Englishman Nigel Hughes has a very fine Talbot Sunbeam, motoring on. There's the Peugeot 205 GTI of Stringer and Sons, and yet another 205 with Claire McVitie from Enniskillen. Louise Nolan is the best of the ladies, and at the next service, I asked her what were her thoughts for the rest of the day.
Well, I don't think the stages will improve much. I think they'll stay wet and slippy and lots of slurry and that about. But if the rain holds off, we might get this stage now might dry up a bit, and it's quite fast. So we'll have to wait and see.
Meanwhile, in the Ford camp, the spanners are spinning furiously for the last few stages.
Really having to push it hard. I mean, the first 3 stages he took 35 seconds out of us this morning. And the one before this we took 6 back off him. But I don't know what happened on the last stage. It's really hairy. It's so muddy and wet. It's horrible.
But Austin Mchale had not given up. There were still a lot of stages to go.
Well, we'll definitely keep trying. You know, there's only a spin in it really at the moment between Mark and ourselves, and if he has a spin, it's going to make all the difference of what's between us. So we'll keep the pressure on him. I know up to the last, you know, there's another, I think, 6 stages left. So we'll keep the pressure on to then and see what happens.
But the Irish weather changed again, and by the last stage, Mark Lovell in the Ford Sierra was a comfortable 1 minute and 47 seconds ahead of Austin Mchale in the Mchale Manta. Vincent Bonner and Rory Kennedy are happy in third place and push the scenery about with abandon. Vincent Meade and James O'Brien are contented in 4th place with their new Manta. Dubliners Michael Barrable and Dermot O'Rourke in Austin Mchale's old Manta, which is no stranger to Cork County. Bob Fowden and Jerry Hines 6th overall Group N winners. The red Chevette from the Northerners John Gilleese and Steve Boswell holding on to 7th position. John Lyons and Michael Gibson glad to finish the rally in 8th position. Henry Lynch and Dorothy McAllister 9th overall, and the Lancia makes top 10 for Martin Grandin. But the day belongs to Mark Lovell, first win in the Fitzpatrick Cork 20 and Irish tarmac champion for the 2nd year in a row.
Well, I'm very pleased, you know, it was really hard this morning. Austin, he gave us such a hard time, it was unreal.
This makes up, I suppose, in some measure for the Ulster and the Manx events.
Yes, I wanted to win, you know, Ulster and Manx. Ulster we were second behind Jimmy McRae, and Manx we retired early, so this is fantastic, yeah.
Do you feel confident now for the tarmac championship?
Well, yes, we've just heard, in fact, we've actually tied it up before the last round, so we can't be beaten now, so brilliant.
Congratulations, Mark, and thank you very much.
Thanks very much.